You know that photo of Ultimo Dragon with the 10 championship belts? Usually there's a meme that's like, you'll never be this good or something like that. Well, here is my action figure version of that picture. These are some early custom titles I did because I'm a big fan of Ultimo Dragon and I wanted to kind of recreate that photo, so I needed the title belts for him. So I kind of custom made them a long time ago. So I'm just going to go through and tell the story about the group of belts that he won, the J Crown Championship. Just kind of tell about making the belts and the story of the tournament and my Ultimo Dragon figures here. So first of all, this red Ultimo Dragon figure is Jack's Ruthless Aggression kind of style figure. It was a Japan exclusive. They did do kind of a silver one in the normal line, but he didn't have this chest piece in the normal line, and so I wanted to hunt down this Japanese exclusive that kind of had his chest piece kind of complete his look, plus the cape and all that. And I like red, so I liked him in the red attire. I was always a big Ultimo Dragon fan just from the video games he was always in, like WCW World Tour, small roster there. He was one of them I could play as. I'd see him on TV. He'd be in the WCW Revenge game also. You would even get to see him later in WWF Here Comes the Pain on PlayStation 2 with his quick WB run, which is what allowed these figures to be made. But I always like that picture with all the titles, so I'm going to just kind of explain the J Crown tournament real quick. It was 1996. Just between Japan and Mexico, always trading wrestlers and things, there was just so many junior heavyweight championships, or what we would call light heavyweight championships, cruiserweight championships, all the lighter weight class championships. There was just so many. All the wrestlers, Mexican, Japanese, they threw their titles in. It was like a big bet. It was just a tournament. It was like, hey, somebody's going to get all these. So everybody, all the champions, 8 champions, put their title down and said by the end of the night, one person was going to have all 8. So they had the tournament, and Ultimo Dragon did not win the tournament. He actually lost in the finals. But then later he just challenged the great Sasuke, the winner, challenged him for all 8 belts at once later, and just won them all from him after the fact. So most of this is just him basically stealing these after losing the tournament himself. But I'm going to go through all these titles and just kind of show off the custom here. Take all these off. So this will be the British Commonwealth Junior Heavyweight Championship. I did have to make this all custom with clay and things. Again, this is like an early experiment for me, just kind of doing custom work. The strap is kind of a weird fuzzy underneath I wouldn't really use nowadays. But the paint sealed there. I kind of molded the tiny pieces and things, and wrote the lettering by hand with like just a very small tool, like probably toothpicks and things. That was a cool one there. Just British Commonwealth Junior Heavyweight Championship. I believe this is the one Jushin Liger brought to the tournament, if I'm remembering reading that right. That's a cool one. Another all-custom one, the Iwgp Junior Heavyweight Championship. This is a title you'll probably be familiar with now. It's still active very much in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is just the older appearance for it. I thought it did pretty cool molding it there. You kind of see the little bird and Iwgp, some of the colored jewels. Did the Velcro. That was a cool one to do. Looks pretty sweet. All the custom molded ones are more fun, of course. So there was the TNA wrestling figures before by Toy Biz, and they had the NWA World Championship. That was what they used for their world title. So I got a bunch of these online, and I kind of repainted them for some of these NWA style titles. This is the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship that was part of the tournament. Kind of recolored it. You can see all the NWA belts kind of look the same. Some of them, like, this is just based off of the world title they would use, but it's just redesigned, and I kind of painted just based off of different pictures and things, trying to recreate it, but very faintly kind of wrote Junior Heavyweight there instead of World that it would have said before. There's a couple of these NWA style titles in the tournament, and that was pretty handy that there was already a mold for that. Another NWA one, the World Welterweight Championship. A little different Mexican flag in the main flag spot, so I kind of had to do a mini US flag off to the side, where you can see this one, the US flag was the main one, and the Mexico is over here. I kind of covered the word, just kind of shuffle the plates around to kind of match the actual belt based off some pictures with a little NWA and the circle part there. That was definitely handy. I had those. Just kind of do recolors of them. Here's another full custom molded one that is the UWA World Junior Light Heavyweight Championship. A little complicated there, but kind of just a basic shape of it just based off pictures. There weren't really clear pictures of these titles. When I was doing this, I was trying to comb some not so HD videos, trying to get screenshots of these belts. So this is just kind of what I could see and kind of get some of the shapes and what it seemed to be the colors. So if you're familiar with these real titles, these are definitely simplified versions of them. UWA. Whoop, upside down. I thought that was a nice little bird there, though. Look at that bird. I believe this is the title that Ultimo brought to the tournament. Be the WAR, War International Junior Heavyweight Championship. Kind of has a cool, more unique shape, kind of tall title belt, you know, kind of a skinnier design with, again, a cool bird there, and a couple colored jewels. A unique one amongst the group of the 8. Again, I don't know, it just has this fuzz on the back that, whatever this material was, that isn't very good for that, but once they're on all Ultimo here, they look pretty cool. Here's a title that was shaped like the kind of WWF Intercontinental title back in the day, so I just used one of those and recolored it, kind of colors off the picture. It'd be the WWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship, kind of a W and an A there, and I've kind of painted over so you can't see Intercontinental on there, and just kind of more the color of what I could tell was the color of that title, and this is just the old strap. I just couple stud details in there, but another easier one, I just kind of modify a title, kind of block out the WWF logo and able to reuse that. And this is actually the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship, which you might be confused. They actually did kind of an early WWF Light Heavyweight Championship before introducing this one that you might be more familiar with, held by Taka Michinoku and other WWF people on WWF TV. This is before they did that real version of the title, so this one kind of doesn't count in the history. This is actually a title that ended up breaking up all these, that these titles were being used, and then I don't know if maybe the popularity of the light heavyweight wrestlers off of WCW and even this tournament just kind of made WWF want to have their light heavyweight title back. So they said, hey, give me that title back. And when they recalled this title, it broke up all the titles returned to the places they were from, since this had to go back to the WWF. They didn't want this title out there in the world while they were trying to establish their own version of it, since it technically did belong to them, it had their name. So funny that a WWF title was part of this crazy tournament, so pretty cool. So in that picture, he actually has 10 championships. So what happened was he won the 8 off of Great Sasuke in just a rematch, and then he ended up winning this NWA World Middleweight Championship because probably, Ultimo traveled between Mexico, US, and Japan like crazy, wrestling all over. So he ended up winning this probably in Mexico or off of a Mexican wrestler somewhere. So this made his championships 9. And then he did win the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. And that's one I don't have a figure one of. It was kind of too complicated to make like a custom. I always expected them to release an official version to use, and they never did. So I'm still waiting on a WCW-styled Cruiserweight Championship to get the 10th championship for Ultimo Dragon here. But all the 8 titles that he won were active championships, so that was 8, and then he won 2 titles after that. So he actually set the record for most active wrestling championships won at one time. So that is actually a standing record, because technically you could have defended any of these, and then most of them did go back to their places after they got disbanded by the WWF one being taken away. He always just defended them in a group, and he did actually end up losing the J Crown belts to Jushin Thunder Liger here. That I do have a figure of. You can see a review of him at the end of this video. I just wanted to kind of tell my story of just making all these customs. This was like an early project of mine just way back. Just wanted to kind of make a super display out of my Ultimo Dragon figure because kind of imported this Japanese exclusive one. So I have the cool red and have the cape piece and all this. Like, why stop there when I can make all his famous meme championships where he's just draped in all the gold? If you kind of look at the picture, he's got the Iwgp around the waist first, and his war title's kind of up underneath there. He's got the 2 NWA belts around his neck, this, and then just all the other championships just holding on his arm. just a cool photo. It's like a record-setting photo, and I just wanted to represent it with my figures. I am kind of starting a new Japanese wrestling figure collection because of the upcoming New Japan Pro Wrestling figures, so I'm actually getting a hold of some other figures and things to add to that. So I wanted to just do a video showing this one because this is a huge, awesome piece already that I've always had that's kind of Japanese wrestling history of that J Crown tournament. I hope you like seeing it, and you can stick around here, subscribe. I open up all my other wrestling figures and other collectibles here. And I always talk about them and talk about why I would collect them, and why you might want to also. So I'll see you in the next video.